Queen Sofia of Spain and King Juan Carlos I have been married for 62 years. They raised 3 children together, but since the late 1970s they've stopped sharing a bed. So why didn't they get divorced? And why did Queen Sofia suffer so much in this marriage and forgive her husband for his numerous infidelities? Watch this video to uncover the tragic truth behind the marriage of Spain king and queen. Their wedding was like something out of a fairy tale. On May 14, 1962, all eyes in Europe were on Athens. Princes, princesses, and royalty from across the continent came together to see this huge event. The excitement in the air was undeniable. Sophia was breathtaking in a silver and white gown by Jean d'Assise. Her 20-foot-long train glimmered as she walked, and her veil was a family heirloom from her mother. She looked every bit the queen she would become, leaving everyone speechless. Juan Carlos, in his military uniform, stood proud. His chest was covered with royal insignia, showing the weight of the responsibility he was about to take on. They looked perfect together, a couple that symbolized hope and a bright future for Spain. There were 2 wedding ceremonies, one Catholic and one Orthodox, respecting both of their religious traditions. As they made their way through the streets of Athens, crowds of well-wishers cheered them on. The whole day was filled with promise, and everyone believed they were witnessing the start of something beautiful. But no one could have guessed the challenges that lay ahead. Sophia and Juan Carlos first met in 1954 at the Dukes of Kent's wedding. It wasn't just another formal royal introduction. Something clicked between them that day, sparking a connection that would change both their lives. Amidst the grand celebrations of another royal union, their meeting stood out. It was clear this wasn't just a political encounter. Even though they had their royal duties, Sophia and Juan Carlos chose to marry each other. But it wasn't all about love. Their marriage was also a smart political move that benefited both sides. Sophia, a Greek princess, had deep connections to European royalty, and Juan Carlos was on his way to becoming the king of Spain. Their union brought Greece and Spain closer together, and it helped solidify Juan Carlos as a stable future leader for Spain. Both came from important royal families. Sophia was part of the House of Glucksburg, the Greek royal family, and Juan Carlos was from the House of Bourbon, which had ruled Spain for centuries. Their marriage wasn't just about them, it was about strengthening alliances in Europe and giving Spain hope after years of civil war and dictatorship. This marriage was more than personal, it was a partnership meant to serve their countries and royal legacies. After marrying Juan Carlos, Sophia's life changed drastically. She left behind her identity as a Greek princess and fully embraced her new role as the future Queen of Spain. One of her first major sacrifices was converting to Catholicism, a significant step that showed her deep commitment to her new country. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture, but a personal transformation, as she had been raised in the Greek Orthodox Church. Along with the religious change, she adopted Spanish traditions and customs, immersing herself in her role as queen consort. Sophia's life was dedicated to duty from the beginning. She worked tirelessly to support Juan Carlos and the Spanish monarchy. But beyond her public responsibilities, she took her role as a mother very seriously. She and Juan Carlos raised 3 children, Elena, Cristina, and Felipe. Sophia was deeply involved in their upbringing, ensuring they were educated and prepared for royal responsibilities. Her devotion to her children became one of her core strengths during difficult times in her marriage. By the late 1970s, the marriage between Sophia and Juan Carlos had begun to crack. The emotional distance between them grew, and soon there were rumors of infidelity of Juan Carlos' part. These weren't just occasional affairs. His unfaithfulness became frequent, and the whispers of his romantic escapades began spreading among royal circles. As the years passed, Juan Carlos' affairs became an open secret both within the palace and in the public eye. By the 1980s and 1990s, his reputation as a womanizer overshadowed much of the public image he had built as king. His list of mistresses, reportedly numbering in the thousands, became a source of pain for Sophia. Each affair chipped away at their already strained relationship, and the emotional gap between them widened. What started as private rumors soon turned into public knowledge as details of his extramarital relationships surfaced in the media. For Sophia, this was devastating. She had given up so much for her role as queen, and now, in return, she was faced with public humiliation. Yet she chose to remain silent, always maintaining a dignified exterior. Her commitment to the crown and her family outweighed her suffering. The emotional toll of her husband's infidelities was heavy, but she endured it, focusing on her children and her duties as queen. This period marked the cooling of their marriage as the once close relationship faded into formality and distance. Despite Juan Carlos' infidelities and the emotional distance that grew between them, Sophia and Juan Carlos never divorced. This decision seemed puzzling for many, but several deep-rooted reasons were behind it. One of the most important was the preservation of the Spanish monarchy. Spain had only recently transitioned from dictatorship to democracy, and a stable monarchy was essential for maintaining the country's political balance. A royal divorce could have created a scandal that threatened the institution and shaken public confidence in the monarchy. For Sophia, there was also the matter of duty. Raised in a royal family, she was taught that her queen's role was not just about personal happiness, but serving her country. Divorcing the king would have been seen as a failure, not just as a wife, but as a queen. Her duty to Spain, the crown, and her children kept her in the marriage despite her suffering. Religion also played a role. As a devout Catholic, Sophia took her marriage vows seriously. The Catholic Church views marriage as sacred, and divorce wasn't considered an option for someone in her position. This religious conviction and strong sense of responsibility meant Sophia remained committed to the marriage, even when her husband was no longer emotionally or physically present. Finally, there was the matter of appearances. In public, they continued to appear together at official events, projecting an image of unity. This was important not just for Spain, but for their family. Sophia prioritized her children's futures and the monarchy's stability over her personal feelings. Divorce might have cast a shadow over her children's future, particularly Felipe, who was being groomed to succeed his father as king. Juan Carlos's infidelities were not just the result of personal choice or a disregard for his marriage. According to some reports, including testimony from retired Commissioner José Manuel Villarejo, the former king suffered from a condition of heightened sexual desire or hypersexuality. This physiological issue made it incredibly difficult for him to control his libido, and it became such a serious matter that it was considered a state problem. The situation was so concerning that, according to Villarejo, Juan Carlos was allegedly injected with female hormones and testosterone inhibitors to reduce his libido. These treatments were administered to help manage his overpowering sexual drive, as it was believed to be out of control and creating problems for the royal image and the stability of the monarchy. For almost 30 years, King Juan Carlos kept the darker aspects of his private life away from public scrutiny. However, Spanish author Amadeo Martinez Ingles claimed that during 6 months the king had affairs with 62 women and allegedly had over 2,000 lovers between 1976 and 1994. Journalist Ana Romero also wrote a book, The King Uncovered, which exposes King Juan Carlos I's secretive romantic life. She details his numerous affairs and how these relationships were hidden to protect the monarchy's image. The book covers high-profile figures like Corina Larsen and discusses the political and financial fallout caused by his infidelities. One of the most talked about rumored mistresses was Sandra Mozarowski, an 18-year-old actress who died under mysterious circumstances in 1977 after falling from her balcony. Another mistress, Barbara Ray, Miss World Spain 1971, reportedly received more than £500,000 of public funds to keep quiet about her relationship with the king. Spanish photographer Keka Campillo also revealed that she would meet the king for a secret rendezvous at the back entrance of Zarzuela Palace, often in a van as they had no other private location. Despite this, King Juan Carlos remained married to Queen Sofia, though they reportedly stopped sharing a bed in the late 1970s. Spanish royal expert Pilar Eyre supports the claim made by Martinez Ingles that King Juan Carlos attempted to seduce Princess Diana, noting that he made a tactile move when she was just 25 years old. While Diana denied anything inappropriate had occurred, she did mention that, although the king was charming, he could also be a little too attentive. One of Juan Carlos' early romantic involvements is said to have been with Maria Gabriela de Saboya, the daughter of Italy's last king. Later, after being crowned king in 1975, Juan Carlos allegedly became distant from his wife, Queen Sofia, when she discovered him in a compromising situation with Spanish actress and singer Sara Montiel. Rumors suggest that Queen Sofia caught them together only weeks after the coronation, though Montiel denied having any affair with the king. As Juan Carlos's infidelities became more public, some of his high-profile affairs stood out and caused significant scandal. One of the most talked-about relationships was with Danish-German businesswoman Corina Larsen. This affair, which lasted for several years, eventually became public knowledge and led to numerous headlines across Europe. Corina was more than just another mistress. She became deeply involved in Juan Carlos' personal and financial dealings. In January 2009, Corina claimed that during a romantic dinner, the king proposed with a large emerald-cut diamond ring, reportedly worth €1 million. However, their relationship began to deteriorate when Corina focused on caring for her ailing father, Finn Bonning Larsen, who passed away in August 2009. During this time, Juan Carlos admitted to having taken up a new mistress, which led to the end of his affair with Corina. Corina revealed that the ex-king proposed to her twice and promised to make her a princess in a desperate effort to rekindle their relationship. Their relationship made waves when Corina later accused the former king of harassment and spying on her after their breakup. The media frenzy around his affair with Corina further damaged Juan Carlos' public image, especially when details about extravagant gifts and financial favors surfaced. It was rumored that he had gifted her large sums of money, which fueled speculation about corruption. This affair was a personal embarrassment and a political crisis for the Spanish monarchy. Perhaps even more shocking was the rumor that Juan Carlos had fathered an illegitimate child. A book by investigative journalists Jose Maria Olmo and David Fernandez claims that King Juan Carlos fathered a fourth child after the birth of Princess Elena, Princess Cristina, and King Felipe, a daughter named Alejandra. According to the journalists, Alejandra was born in the late 1970s or early 1980s, and her mother is reportedly a member of Spain's aristocracy. The book explains that Alejandra's mother met the former king when she was younger, shared mutual friends with him, and bonded over their shared love of hunting. However, Juan Carlos has firmly denied the claim, stating, "It is not true that I have a daughter." While there was no official confirmation, the rumors persisted, adding another layer of scandal to his already tarnished reputation. Several individuals claimed to be his children, but Juan Carlos or the royal family ever made any formal acknowledgement. These high-profile affairs and rumors of an illegitimate child further distanced Juan Carlos from Sophia. Despite the ongoing scandals, Sophia remained by his side in public, maintaining her role as the dignified queen consort. However, the emotional toll of his betrayals and the constant public humiliation became impossible to ignore, deepening their divide. While Juan Carlos' extramarital affairs and scandals consumed the media, Queen Sofia maintained a dignified and active public role. She often participated in charity events and social causes, maintaining her public image as a devoted royal figure. Sophia has always been involved in humanitarian work, especially in the fields of health, education, and environmental causes, and this became her primary focus while her husband lived in exile. Despite the emotional toll of her husband's betrayals, Sophia separated her pain from her public duties. She found solace in her work and close relationships with her children and grandchildren. Throughout Juan Carlos' separation from the family, Sophia remained a pillar of stability in Spain, and she was admired for her resilience and commitment to the monarchy. Her ability to uphold her responsibilities in the face of personal struggles cemented her legacy as one of the most respected figures in the Spanish royal family. In 2020, Juan Carlos left Spain in a self-imposed exile after a series of financial scandals and allegations of corruption came to light. The former king's once respected reputation had become deeply tarnished, and his exile was seen as a necessary move to protect the image of the Spanish monarchy and distance the current royal family, especially King Felipe VI, from the growing controversy. While Juan Carlos moved to Abu Dhabi, Sophia deliberately decided to remain in Spain. She chose to stay to support her son, King Felipe, and maintain her long-standing role in public life. Sophia's decision symbolized her unwavering loyalty to Spain and her commitment to upholding the dignity of the monarchy, even as her husband faced disgrace abroad. Her choice to stay underscored her strength and resilience, further enhancing her public image as a queen devoted to her country, regardless of personal suffering. During this period, Sophia continued her royal duties, appearing at official events and focusing on her humanitarian efforts. Her presence in Spain while Juan Carlos lived in exile created a stark contrast between the two. She remained a figure of stability, while he became a symbol of scandal and exile. For Sophia, staying in Spain wasn't just about maintaining her position, but also about protecting the legacy of the monarchy for future generations. Over the years, rumors of tension between Queen Sofia and Queen Letizia have been a frequent topic of conversation in Spain. The two women represent different generations of the monarchy, and their differences in background, personality, and approach to royal duties have occasionally clashed. Letizia, a former journalist from a middle-class background, brought a more modern, progressive style to the royal family. At the same time, Sofia, rooted in tradition, upheld the conservative values of a European queen. One of the most publicized incidents occurred in 2018 during the Easter service in Palma de Mallorca. Cameras captured what appeared to be an awkward moment between the two queens. Letizia seemed to block a photograph of Queen Sofia with her granddaughters, Princess Leonor and Princess Sophia, leading to widespread media speculation about their strained relationship. Despite these public moments, both queens have continued to carry out their duties, often appearing together at official events. However, their tension symbolizes a broader shift within the monarchy, the balance between maintaining traditional royal roles and adapting to the modern world. Sophia's deep-rooted sense of duty contrasts with Letizia's more independent contemporary approach, leading to a respectful but distant relationship. Despite the countless infidelities of her husband, King Juan Carlos I, Queen Sofia has always maintained an impeccable reputation. Throughout their long marriage, she was never linked to any other man or involved in any scandals of her own. Instead, she devoted her life to her role as queen, serving her country and raising their 3 children with dignity and commitment. Unfortunately, love was a rare element in Sofia's personal life. While Juan Carlos directed his affection towards numerous other women, Sophia remained steadfast in her duties and loyalty. She endured the emotional toll of his betrayals quietly and gracefully. Remarkably, she never publicly spoke ill of him. Many believe she forgave him, as she continued to stand by his side in public appearances and never wavered in her support for the monarchy. Queen Sophia's life is a testament to her dedication to her country, family, and the crown, even when love and happiness were not part of her personal story. Do you think Queen Sophia made the right decision by not divorcing her husband and maintaining the illusion of a strong marriage? Or should she have followed her heart, divorced, and lived for love rather than an illusory sense of duty? Share your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe.